And welcome to the round 12 fan cams. After the Blues lose again. And here we are again. Yeah. But what to do? It's tiring. Yeah, it is. It's tiring. This is the fan cams. Let's get this show on the road.
But, I was thinking about it halfway through that game. 4 years of doing this with you. We've seen some shit. We're probably the Vietnam War veterans of YouTube. Yeah. We should be in a corner of a bar with a cigarette in our mouth going, "You weren't there, man! You weren't there!" But, we've got to look at the points at the moment. Our goal ratio this year hasn't been so bad since 2018. If you actually add time on for 2020, the COVID year, it's there, and fuck me, everything, Terry. It's like a deep-seated issue. We were talking about we were going to judge them as a top four side. This is bottom four shit, man. Players pulling out of marking contests, players not competing for marking contests, players making the same kick after kick on the same type of players, horrific ball use, horrific defensive application, horrific understanding of a deep forward press, and the back line, our forward press allowing short kicks, which ultimately killed us on transition. And then the one time we fucking go through the middle, we had 3 goals, and them 3 goals were the first time Carlton attacked the corridor. Let that sink in.
The word that I keep using is apathy, Terry. Now, I actually don't think, as much as we do care, I don't think anyone really... There's no energy, there's no... Did you feel that at the ground, on the way to the ground tonight? I felt it was like a ghost town. It was like Chernobyl walking into the ground. It was dead. The last probably month and a half has been... It's almost been the same thing every week. It's like we're down by 3 to 4 goals. We know we can't win, and it's just like you go through the motions, if that makes sense. And some of the skill errors and the way we set up ahead of the ball as well. I don't know, everything's just laborious.
Mate, what are we doing here, bro?
What do you say, man? I said to Dan last week at the end of the Sydney game, when we're in Sydney, I go, I'm not going on Friday. Don't let me go. I don't want to be there because I know the result. And I know I'm going to get to Thursday, and I'm going to turn to someone, I'm going to turn to Tez, I'm going to turn to you, and I'm going to go, you know what? We're going to win this week. And I'll be there on Friday. And like fucking clockwork, man. We are sick. I've said it all week, we are sick people.
I've tried to, this week, as you know, I've just tried to be very careful that I don't want the players to resent us.
Yeah.
I don't want them to resent us. I don't want them to look at us as selfish fans who just want success. It's grand final day every year. Regardless of the team who wins it, maybe except for Collingwood or Essendon. But when you see those players hugging each other, crying, happy that they've achieved this collective goal together, and you just see that happiness, that brings a smile to my face. And boys, straight to you, that's the success that I want to see you guys have. The success that I want, that's what it is. It's seeing you achieve this incredible thing. And my happiness will feed off yours. It's not like I'm sitting here, or we're all sitting here in the stands and abusing them. I want success for me. Give me my success. I deserve my success. I'm the fan. That's not what it is. The success will come. Our happiness will feed off yours.
You know why we're laughing? Because it's a mechanism to deal with this. We don't want to be laughing. This is sad, man. Remember last week I saw you at Sydney, right? And remember we sat down, we had some breakfast, and then we went through and we were naming the games
that we can win.
Right? And then we stopped halfway, and what did we say to each other?
What are we doing?
What are we doing here? What do we do? We have lost the plot.
And Rocco wasn't wrong. Like, if you can't identify who our true leaders are out in the field, we have a problem. Like, a huge, huge problem. And to think that we play Essendon next week, yeah, I'm going to have a house divided here. And I'm not happy about it because I know I'm going to be the upset one at the end of the day. Because the expectation now is just go to the football, enjoy the football with the people that I sit with.
The people, yeah.
Oh, mate. I don't even know. It's just, what even is this anymore? I don't know what it is.
Hello and welcome to the Blue Broad Show, Monday, 5th of June, end of another loss. I'm your host, Terry. This is Pommy next to me. Hey, mate.
Hey, up. How are we doing?
Oh, man. In the dumps. In the dumps a little bit. There's a lot going on. A lot of feeling in this week. There's a lot of feeling every week, but yeah. We're all hurting in so many different ways right now, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. You know what I mean? We are. And I understand the hurt. I do. I mean, fuck me. I think it's a fair assessment that I think as passion goes, I'd be up there, wouldn't I? You know what I mean? And honestly, I'm going to be totally honest. 2 weeks ago, I said that I wish my nana was still alive so I could have a hug. Fuck me. I don't even think she could bring me out of how I felt post-game Friday. And it sucks, man. It sucks.
It does suck. Yeah. And us on this side of the fence, like we're in a helpless position. We're all trying to find meaning for how to support, how to get behind them. You know, we go through this cycle. We'll call it the Carlton cycle, you know, the build up to the week. You find a reason why you think we can win or why it's going to be different. You get to the game. They've been losing consistently now for the last couple of months. We go through this anger and this frustration. The fan cams are, you know, always highly emotive. You know, Sunday, Monday gets a little bit less emotive, a little bit more practical, a little bit more objective. And then we roll into another game week. And it almost feels like in a matter of 12 weeks, we've gone from having so much hope from the start of the year to, you know, I don't know where everyone sits on the spectrum of is the season alive or is the season dead, but we're left in this really weird space right now.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, it's something that I've got to be honest. It's something that I haven't quite experienced in sport, in the terms of, do you know what I mean? Just how people handle stuff is their business. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm going to address it because otherwise I'll do this show for an hour and explode and say something that I'll regret and get cancelled. But when we say take the emotion out of it, I'm going to level with you here. I'm going to hit some facts. I think it's fair to say, me personally, I can't speak for Terry or any other content producer, but I would say by now, I think that I've shown enough of my heart and soul to all of you in chat to know that I am quite an emotional person. Not only do I talk about my own thoughts of suicide, I let you into the lives of my family who have had suicide. So emotion ain't something that this POM is scared of at all. I also don't do you guys and girls the injustice of just putting my camera up and spouting bollocks for 20 minutes and then pissing off and saying I got paid. Yeah, baby. I put a lot of effort and research and try and articulate my emotions and thoughts into words that are not only palatable, but hopefully we can all learn, as including myself, first and foremost, before everyone else. So please don't try and make accusations in chat that in some way I am part of selling out and protecting the players. Because the truth be told, I couldn't give one iota of fuck about these players. They are just people playing for my football club. The dickheads on the board are just people being given the responsibility to look after my football club. Truth be told, the people that I give a shit about are the people in the chat and the community that made this country, this island in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, my home. So please, give me the respect that I treat you guys and girls with, that I would not fucking sell out. Because I am telling you one thing right now. Luke Sayers could come and say, here's $20 million a week. I want you to protect the players. I want you to drive a narrative for me. And you know what I'd do? I'd get that $20 million. I'd draw it out. I would draw it out into $10 bills. And I would ram every one of them bastard $10 up his arse and send him on his way. Right? So come on, people. Let's be real. You can hate me. You can hate Terry all you want. It ain't going to make your fucking club better. Right? Okay? Right? Do you know what I mean? Put the anger where you want it to be. But come on. Let's be real.
Yeah, well said. Well said. And nothing's taken to heart. I get it. You guys are expressing yourselves in the chat. We're big boys. The internet is a dark and dangerous place. Grew up on the internet, so
I didn't.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough right now for everyone involved. Everyone's feeling the pressure, including us. So that's that. Yeah. I hate to do housekeeping, but like a few things I want to address.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I know. So the Blue Abroad group, I have not been managing it because I don't have the bandwidth. Got a few mods in there that manage it, and it's not fair on them because it's becoming a shit show. It's becoming a shit show. So, and people aren't enjoying it. So whatever goes in that group ultimately is my responsibility. So I want to change the Blue Broad group to be a bit more about the content. I feel one of the solutions moving forward is just evolving and bringing a high level of intellect. Not saying no emotion. Not at all. But if we keep on sitting here yelling and screaming, calling everyone every name under the sun without any fact backed with it, then what are we doing? And how are we part of the solution? That's my question. So there's that. Then the second thing, and this is where I got it wrong. I reflected on it. Friday night with the fan cams, I put the photo up of Harry and TDK. I saw Tracy Mackay in there and I thought it was fine. It was a non-photo because they're having a laugh with Tracy Mackay and it's fine. That's been misinterpreted. So that's a lesson for me. There's a fine line between playing with people's sensitivity. So I've got to be careful with that as well. So I just want to address that. But tonight's going to be a good show. We're going to go through everything that happened on Friday night. We're going to talk about it, get it off our chest. We're going to do a special announcement. There's a big giveaway coming. I've got a lot to give away and give back. So you'll hear about that shortly. We'll go through the VFL review and then we'll move on to Essendon. And this will just be rinse and repeat, Pommy.
Hey, tell you what, your Uncle Pom likes... I love this. Do you know, there's a sick part of me when shit hits the fan.
Yeah, mate.
I don't know if it's my pop. You know what I mean? But I have that war hero spirit. I'm ready to go into war. I'm ready. I like it. I can't wait. I'd be that weird guy. Do you know what I mean? Shirt off, Dunkirk.
Yeah.
Shirt off, just screaming, come and get some of the pom. Come and get
Come
some
and
of
get
it.
it, mate. Kill me. I'm already dead. Come get me. You think you can hurt me? I'm already dead.
Not that bad.
No. Okay. Look, let's start with Friday. Was it as bad? Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty painful to watch. Those of you in the chat, what did you think of Friday night in 3 words? And Pommy, let's unpack it again. Even though we're probably going to be bringing up the same sentences that we've been bringing up over the last few weeks, Were there any signs of progression in your lens from Friday? Or are we reaching?
As my nan used to say, bury me by my feet, because I've spent my life on my knees, which as I've got older, that's been more and more poignant. I mean, let's be honest, the first 10 minutes was the same poor football masked by hard work and intensity. And, you know, the more I watch these boys, you see the words and the messaging from the club. And I'm just waiting to see it. And I think what I want to get at tonight is how I feel the club is. I think at the moment we are lost in a threefold plan. I think Voss doesn't want what he sees on the field to take place, but I don't think he's making it easy for the players. I think the players, as soon as they see any adversity, they don't trust the system, so they resort to their own coping mechanisms, and it fucking goes Pete Tong. And at the moment, we couldn't finish a carvery, I don't think, at the top end of the ground. And it's really easy to beat us as well. I think that's what really annoys me. I don't mind copping a beating. In fact, I fucking enjoy it sometimes because you learn. When you get beaten, you learn. But it's so easy, and it's the same thing, and it's antagonizing to watch. And it really hurts because I don't feel, I'd never use the D word, deserve, but I don't think we fucking deserve it. I'm going to be honest. I don't think anyone deserves what we're going through. And I get it. I get it's tough. We've had Doc come out just 5 minutes ago talking about how tough it is. And do you know what I mean? How they've got to get better. Has to be a point where they don't think about getting better and they fucking get it.
Yeah.
They just do it.
Yeah. They're so tense at the moment. There's a lot of tension everywhere. But I mean, okay, fine. They're under pressure, and they are. No doubt about it. What's being done to work on it? Like, I lull myself into thinking some of the ball movement on Friday was somewhat positive, but I feel like I'm going back into this stage of 2018, 2019, where, oh, you know, if we see it for a half or if we see it for a quarter, like, you know, we'll be positive about that. It's like, how can you not have expectation on this group? You know, and I'm sure they have expectation on themselves. There's no doubt they do. I think it's unfair to say that they don't care. I raised the question of, you know, the levels of care. But right now, it just seems from the outside looking in that when it gets really tough and, you know, someone makes a mistake, heads drop, and then they just succumb to the fact that it's happening again. And I don't know how you get out of that. I have no idea how you get out of that. Well, 2 years ago, we sacked a coach. 2 years before that, we sacked a coach. Sorry, 2 years ago, we went through the external review. 2 years before that, we sacked the coach. But is that the easy way out? Because I feel like we're going to come back to this situation again, no matter what happens if we go down that route again.
I think sometimes when there's a problem, how I like to look at a problem at work is you always have plans. We have massive plans at work, and that's part of my job to fulfill the plans. And when there's an obstacle, I like to reverse engineer from the obstacle. And I like to work from the 3 A's. The 3 A's. So those who don't know, that's alter, avoid, and accept. They're very important life morals that I carry, but alter, avoid, and accept. And avoid is a good one because people think, oh, you run away from it. Now, what you do is you avoid the problem. So you avoid the things that lead up to the problem. So avoid is a good one with a wake out and a playing football at the moment. They avoid making the risky kick. But I would be saying to these players, let's avoid getting into that feeling that it is shit. Let's avoid them feelings, avoid that risk. And at the moment, you watch Carlton play football and it is safe. You watch everything we do as a football club for the last 10 years safe. Probably 20 years. Like, this is a barren club that has now got to the point that players, that opposition teams are happy to mock us. And I always think that's a really good thing because there is a professional respect in sport, generally. And I always see when you see opposition players mock, it's because they know that what they're seeing on the field is very easily avoided. And they can't understand it. So you watch Carlton play, and honestly, it's a hard watch because everything is safe and everything is just so inane. And a great club like ours that has 16 flags to its name is now being resorted to something someone can go to a pub, to a shitty working man's function, and drop some banter about Carlton. That's what it is. The history has been forgotten. And you know what? It's going to be an interesting thing how they get out of this, because the only way they can get out of it is literally having to front up. They have to front up and they have to do it. And my question to Vossi is, it's obvious that whatever he is saying in training is affecting them out on the field. And Voss has got to make some adjustments, not tomorrow, yesterday, in the terms of whether that is pure kickings of Boyd from now on and Sard, changing things up in the personnel. I know he's avoided Dow, but does he watch the second half and see that Dow, 9 times out of 10, his first move was being attacking, not going out the back of a stoppage and allowing pressure? That's the move that fogs me off as well. Once it goes out of the back, they've only got one way to go to you, and that pushes you in. And this is a big thing. This is a big thing for me, because at the moment, he's not helping them. The players aren't helping him. Everything seems disjointed at the moment. It seems a shell. And I've only got to tune in to watch Essendon play or Hawthorn play or North Melbourne play. And they are doing the right things, just not executing it. At the moment, we're not even doing the right things. Take away the execution. We're not even doing the right things, because at the moment, this reminds me of Brendan Bolton 2017. Our entire game plan is not to get battered, is to cling on. And that's not where we are now. We were 9th last year, playing very bold, and I appreciate that can't be fixed. That's not sustainable. I appreciate that. You've got to have other avenues to go. But now we don't even have an avenue to go. So something has to change. Something has to change.
Yeah. Doc made some, you mentioned Doc earlier, made some pretty honest comments, used some pretty strong language. I'm going to reference some of them here. He mentioned that there's elements of our ball movement and our ability to get speed on the ball, to get good looks. It's been an issue for a month now that we're working our way through. I feel like we're making inroads, and then something else pops up. Spoken about it a bit over the weekend. There's a level of, we've just got to get to work and start to understand how to execute what we're trying to do. And then the skill execution itself is letting us down pretty significantly. So this part here, start to understand how to execute what we're trying to do. So without wanting to pick apart one sentence and you know, it just grabbed me, because the first thing that it made me think of was, if you're still trying to understand something, it means it hasn't been simplified enough for you. So that was a thing that, you know, piqued my interest. And then he mentioned, you know, the more inside 50 method on top of that is something we've been getting to work on for a lot of the year. We have some games where we score quite well from an efficiency point of view, but some where we've been absolutely terrible. And I mean, he sounds a little bit like Vossi there, get to work, things like that. But it all just looks so confusing to them. Everything, like there've been some comments in the chat, like, you know, not just tonight, but on the fan cams as well, that like we look lazy and slow. And it looks a little bit like that. From my lens, it looks like they're spending too much time thinking, and they've lost this instinct to them that made them so exciting. Like Charlie doesn't even celebrate the way he used to. I think he probably stopped celebrating in the same way 2 or 3 weeks ago. And like, what else can we cover on the show and on all the podcasts? Like, what else can we cover? What else can we talk about? You know, and the only thing I can think of right now is that we're just in the same situation that we were 2 years ago and 2 years before that. And the only difference is what we do from now. Are we going to stick fat and just let them push through it? Or are we going to make, wholesale changes again? And I don't even know. I don't know. I'm not suggesting to know the answer. I'm just coming from a really lost supporter, which I think a lot of us are.
I mean, how do you fix it? I mean, we could talk about that all day. I mean, I think the first part, I look at Carlton, I look at the big, you've got to look at trying to help the players out. So we know about these players, one thing for fact. Now, I know some people are of the school of protect the players. I'm the total opposite. I'm going to give you a full caveat right now. What I say to you guys and girls, I'd quite happily have a beer with a player and say, right? Because at the end of the day, my brain thinks like this. If you take a paycheck, whether you're at KFC or you're an elite level fucking sportsman, if you're giving a service to the public, ergo, you are susceptible to not abuse, but me asking the question or calling you into account, right? Especially when I'm paying my membership, I'm a fucking part owner of this football club, as is everyone else. Do you know what I mean? It's a public system. And I look at it and I think the things we do are balmy. So you look at centre stoppages, all right? Carlton's have got 2 moves. You watch Melbourne, 2 guys go to the ball, 2 people float back. One of the ruckman and Viney go to the ball. The other 2 try and get themselves in position because they expect the ball to be won. Carlton, all of them this week went to the ball, went goal side. Really aggressive, but that said to me, they don't have faith in each other getting it. So they felt like 4 people had to beat 2, and 9 times out of 10 they didn't. Backline, midfield does not push out when the ball's won back, creating a massive overload in the midfield. And where do Carlton kick it? 88% of the time this year, down the wing, midfield. Absolute overload all over. And football is like any ball sport based on overload. So what you've got to do is you've got to fucking help the players out. If you want to help the players out, Carlton Football Club, I can help you help the players out for free. The next one will cost 10 grand every time I speak. But here's free fucking advice. Stop getting Doc to do press conferences. Stop getting Chera and Cripps and protect them in your system. Your system needs to protect these players. We know from 2016 that these players don't like pressure. That's normal because they have been battered and bruised since they came in the system, right? Some of these players had to play on the ball day one. Not many players do that. So play to their strengths. And that's why 8-2 last year looked good. These players can get the ball quick, can move the ball quick without thinking. You start to add layers. Bolton add layers because everyone said we didn't kick enough goals. He was forced to go up more aggressive. Game went downhill quickly. The players can't do 2 things. Some people can't. Fucking simplify it. Simplify it, because you know what annoyed me? That first 10 minutes of this game was dog shit. Long bombs, missed targets, Chera out of nowhere missed a handball. But you know what made up for it? When they made a mistake, there was 4 players there to fix it. There was 4 players there to fix it. There was a sense of urgency, sense of fix it. As soon as they kicked 2 goals in a row, though, that sense of urgency, I don't want to run 20 metres back to collect the ball. And there's a massive not trust in this team. And we're so quick to write players off as a football club. Yeah, Dow can't come in, but we'll play Kennedy at halfback when we've got 1-2 mids. Then they both get injured. Fuck, we'll play someone else in the midfield. Start just taking some standards. I would love, if I was the coach now, play bold, Darwin, Cowan in. Get some fresh fucking faces. Give them till the end of the year, because finals is a mathematical miracle to make it now. Now's the time that you make a standard, because I feel as a football club, we have been too bound by boredom and safe, and nothing will be won being safe. Every team plays bold and aggressively. Help the fucking boys out and set the standard. Let's see it. Let's see it. Cowan going hard. McGovern, he's gone at the end of the year. Leave it. TDK, he did serviceable this week. Give him full-time ruck for a game. Hang the players out to dry a bit and make them thrive. Because at the moment, we have a cultivation of survive, not
Yeah.
thrive. That is Carlton Football Club. Survive. Fuck surviving. I want to thrive. I would rather get battered 150 and see these boys be in a position to win, as opposed to, oh, we lost by 17 points to a shit show. Melbourne is shit at the moment. Thank God they weren't good, is all I can say.
That's the other part. That saved us. They used the ball kind of like what we've been using the ball over the last few weeks.
Mate, and you know what was funny is they're a bit out of form. And you saw when Carlton's pressure was high, they were fumbly. They looked really vulnerable. And that second goal goes, I watched the rewatch. They started to shit themselves. And how often do you see this from Carlton? Every time they do a good thing, they concede, right? So they get the goal. They're almost looking around going, hey, lads, we kicked a goal. How good's this? Momentum's wrestled back. We give it up straight away with an easy kick. We pressured them. There was a moment we had 2 behinds in a row. And suddenly I watched the forward press, and there isn't a forward press. We give that short kick up all the time because no one was willing to be kicked over the top of. And they just danced it out for a whole quarter. And you think, good teams, they run the risk of getting caught over the back. Carlton aren't. Now, whether that's Voss, whether that's the players, I think it's 50-50. I actually think what I'm listening to with Voss is he doesn't know how to motivate them. He said something telling in the press conference. We're trying everything. And I think the only thing that's left, and I'm not a firm believer in this, but have a fucking go at them. Call them into question. When Cripps was called into question, I saw some fight against Carolyn. I think some of these players need to remember they're well better than this. I don't believe the list is shit. I believe the list has stagnated. They have been allowed to get away with mediocre for far too long. Yeah. And it's okay to admit that as a football club. Really is okay.
Yeah, and then when you look at what's happened in their careers as well, they haven't really been held to account with their place at the club. Let's be honest, because the coach goes. So when push comes to shove, the coach goes. When it gets into the red zone, which we look to be in right now, we look to be in that real red zone, the coach goes. Where I guess my fear comes from is, up until this point, we haven't been blown out per se. So, you can say, I think one game we did, the Adelaide game, we're blown out, and they let it really go. My fear is what happens in the second half of the year once they completely give up. Then there's the other part of me that says, oh, well, if finals becomes a mathematical impossibility, then you'll see them start playing well. That's going to frustrate the hell out of us even more. I sat on the couch last night with the jumper punch, and we talked about pressure and, sports psychologist and the mental application. That seems to be the solution of 2023. I wonder what is in place at the club for them to deal with the mental side of the game, which then leads me to the next part. Mate, is the club just too big for them, for everyone? Is it just too big for everyone involved right now?
I think... do you want what I really think?
Yeah.
It's harsh, but I think that this club is like a lot of clubs around the world that had success a long ago, and then a modern era came on. A modern day, a modern way of thinking, a progressive way of thinking, a different mentality. Kids nowadays are older and wiser and more smart than they were before. They're not willing to follow. We're starting to see it at my workplace. There is a lot more people that won't be led. There's a lot more wolves than there are sheep, which is massive in my, I'm only 37, but in my time, I remember doing interviews 10, 15 years ago, and most people were just willing to be told what to do and get their paycheck. Now everyone has an opinion. Everyone has a fucking idea. And I think Carlton just don't fucking adapt. I think if we sack another coach, how many coaches is that? since what, 2000? How many coaches have Carlton had since 2000? Now, is that players in this? Let's just take the rebuild. That's what, 3 coaches, right? There's 2 common denominators here. There's Carlton's method of employing a coach, and there's the players. So it's got to be one of them 2 fuckers, hasn't it? It's got to be one of them 2. It's either everyone who's ever made a decision at the club is a fucking idiot, or the players just literally want to sack coaches for bants, right? Just bants. That's what they're in. So I reckon it's somewhere between the 2. And I reckon what's happened is when Judd went down, God bless him, within 12 minutes, Cripps was the great white hope. So Cripps suddenly went from guy who's had a few good games, Gibbs leaving, suddenly he's the main man. Thrust into the spotlight far too soon. You look at Matt Rowell at Gold Coast, still not considered the main man. He's considered a very good player, but look at their marketing. They build up other players, right? It's very easy to be a celebrity at Carlton. It's not very easy to be a celebrity at North Melbourne because no one gives a fuck, right?
Yeah.
So that's a problem. And Carlton just haven't fucking adapted. Do you know what I mean? They just haven't adapted to fucking setting a plan and sticking to it. This rebuild is the worst rebuild I can think I've seen of any sport. I don't know many sports who come up with a plan and then within a couple of years just sack it and terminate it. I don't know many rebuilds. I don't know many employment processes where one of the guys employing says, nah, it's definitely not this guy. And then because the players start doing a Teague train, choo-choo, he's suddenly thrust into the spotlight. I've never seen that. You look at Tottenham. Tottenham are doing at the moment in the UK the best decision ever. I called it 6 months ago. Ange needs to be the coach. They're fucking protesting because they're like, you can't have an Australian in charge, right? Can't have an Australian in charge. What do they know about football? Naive idiots they are, because I said it in Scotland when he went to my rivals. He's brilliant. He got Celtic good. And he's got to get Tottenham good if he has the time, if he has the investment. So everything we do is quick fix. And you know what you're seeing now, right? They're starting to see the football club. They're starting to see the football club that something isn't right. And you know what I think they're doing? I think they're running scared, Terry. I think they're running scared because I can't believe Luke Sayers is still there. He's got a big thing. This is where you take your ego aside and you stand down now. Perfect time. The club's in disarray, right, at the moment on field. Perfect time to go. It'll probably take a bit of pressure off the players. Because when Carlton start winning, it's already started in the media. Oh, is it affecting them? Players couldn't give a fuck that Luke Sayers has diddled tax. But they'll start writing it and it's more negativity for the football club. So start being 21st century Carlton. We can't bring 16 flags back. You can't bring Diesel back. You can't bring Chris Judd back. All this bollocks, right? You've got to start being a modern day progressive football club. And I don't mean progressive rainbow flags and things like that, social justice. I mean progressive as we're not a business, we're a football club. So everything has to be prioritized on that. And we don't do it. We don't do it. We're the only club in the world I've seen in the media. We're losing games and Cripps isn't called into question. Who the fuck is controlling that narrative? Because I remember the club never used to defend Mark Murphy because he was easy. Because we all hated Mark Murphy, right? So it was easy. No one was talking about the guys upstairs. This club, if we sack Voss, heed my words, I will die before I let the same people stay in charge of this club. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, but we need fucking real, modern day. Get rid of this stupid fucking book we have about who can have a vote and stuff. Chuck that in the bin. It's not a private golf club. It's a public fucking club. And I want someone on the fucking board who fucking hates Carlton. Hates us. He loves winning, though. He or she loves winning, but he hates Carlton. That would be who I would pick. I'd be like, how much do you like Carlton? Fucking hate them, but I love winning, Pommy. And I'd be like, well done. Get on the board and hold the fuckers to account. Because at the moment, it's too easy, Terry. It's way too fucking easy. You can fix that club tomorrow, Terry. But I'll tell you what, someone's got to get some fucking balls, put their ego aside, because there's too much ego at the football club, and fucking actually care about the club. And I'm telling you right now, all the people who put their hand up for a ticket don't give a fuck about the club. They give a fuck about themselves and their own little fucking ego and having a shitty car parking space at Icon. The real people have stayed quiet who want to fucking be part of this. And that is when we will change. When we are a modern day, fearsome football club without dickheads pissing off at Penfold. I am sick, Terry, of losing. I am sick of seeing shit. I am sick of seeing excuses. It's okay, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to say it now. Carlton is shit. It's okay. Nothing's going to happen. The world isn't going to end. We're shit at the moment. But it can get better. But it has to get better if people fucking grow a pair. Grow a pair, own it, and fix it.
Yeah. It's very well said. Yeah.
Look at the people who always want board spills and stuff. But then I hear them talk about the football club and they say archaic shit. Like, oh, Bruce Dull was good. Fuck it. It was fucking 30 years ago. This is modern fucking day sport. Like, why is Diesel there? Oh, because it makes the over 50-year-olds happy. What's he know about modern day football? The game is too different.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, we are on the shoulders of giants. The best place in the league to be drafted to is us. Because the minute you walk through the door, we fucking love you. We believe in you. We believe in you. Like, I've never seen it before. Ollie Hollands, he messaged me and he was like, this is fucking insane, bro. I've gone up 5,000 fucking followers and stuff. Right? He was super excited because his other mates had gone up. Like, if you go back and watch it, George Wardlaw went up 200 people in that AFL interview because no one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
We instantly loved Ollie. It's so good. And Gokken nailed it. You honor your history. Your history is something that when you're privileged like us to have a great one, you fucking honor it. And I'll tell you what hurts me and kicks me in the dick. Every time I see them turds in black and white run out, they're honoring their past. Every single one of them young men is honoring that Collingwood name, is honoring it, right?
Yeah.
And you don't need old people to tell me how great the club is. I fucking know. And everyone who goes to the games know. Everyone who supports Carlton knows our history. Google it, right? But let's be fucking real, right? Let's be real. The old Carlton is still here. Quick fix. Quick fix. Quick
Correct.
fix. Let's fucking be process driven and win a fucking flag because I'm sick of losing, Terry. Sick of it.
Yeah. Yeah. The part that where it's gotten to now, which is so fascinating for me, is the part where you mentioned the players from the opposition sides, making comments, and there generally is a professional code that you don't poke those bears because it comes back to bite you. But to see, Braden Maynard, and he's right. If you're a Collingwood supporter, you're loving to hear his comments about Carlton. To see that not actually change anything it continues. It's a really fast. It continues to get more alarming, and it continues to disappoint in every way. It's such a feeling of just being lost. Like, what's the right way forward? And when you zoom out, it's like, well, who's leading this? Where's the voice of leadership now? Who's leading the fans? We don't know which way we're going right now. We don't know. Somebody asked in the ratings show just before, did we overperform last year or are we underperforming this year? And to be dead honest with you, I don't know.
Mate.
What would you say? Did we overperform last year or are we underperforming this year? And the chat.
We just got a sugar hit. Voss stripped it back and said, go hard, 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 hard. And it was good. Yeah. Injuries fucking took part. Fucking self-doubt started to take in. Oh, fuck, Wheatering's not here. Who's going to work down back? And slowly but surely, they did it. To the stage Terry, where now someone's got, like, last year you couldn't shut Luke Sayers up. 8-2. He was fucking posting all the time. Hey, the Bluebaggers! Fuck it, I forgot he existed until fucking Matheson came out of his rock.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Same with Lagudache. We've made a lot of money. Oh shit, we lost by 60 to GWS. Fucking disappears into the fucking lurks. Why can't you be proactive? Like, you know what? Marilyn Monroe said, you can't have me at my best if you can't handle me at my worst. Bored. Be Marilyn Monroe. Do you know what I mean? Don't get excited when we're all up and about, but then have a bit of a cry when we're angry. Because I tell you what, I know you want to take emotion out of ratings, and I don't care. I'll stand by you because you know what? I subscribe to a team, Terry. You're Cripps, I'm Walsh. Right? I've got your back. Do you know what I mean? No matter what happens. But the club need to realise 90,000 fucking people signed up this year.
Yeah.
A record last year before 8-2. That's fucking belief, man. Right? So how dare you say, if you are at this football club, I've got a message for you, a massive message. If you're the type of person who's employed by my football club who says, oh, the fans are a little bit hard on myself, how about you fucking go and look at some facts? Richmond were on the bones of their ass before they won a flag. Imagine if we win a flag. There'll be 200,000, 300 overnight. Fuck me. How dare you? Because the history is honoured. We fucking love it, right? All we're asking for here is let us in. And that's the problem I have with this football club. Massively. And that's why we won't change. The lack of respect for the common man and woman of this football club creates this dissension. They wonder why people leave at half time. No one fucking talks to us anymore. Do you know what I mean? And you know what's going to happen? Like, if we do sack him, it'll be Dimmer, Great White Hope. They'll probably bring who's been popular, probably who's been talking a lot, who's got a brain. Because it'll be someone with a brain they'll bring on the board. Someone like probably Mark Murphy. You know what I mean? Oh, no, wait, that's too late. It'll be 1995.
Yeah.
Be 1995. Who's suddenly Cooter is in Carlton media a lot. They'll bring Cooter back because that makes everyone feel okay. I mean, they'll probably make some kind of fucking revolutionary thing. Buckley is assistant. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, great. Do you know what I mean? Just another fucking 2-year cycle. Like, we've got to do it properly, man. Do it properly. Like, Michael Voss was brought here for his leadership and his standard setting, was he not? You winding me up?
Yeah.
Like, that's what annoys me. Voss would not stand for last week. As a player,
no,
he would have probably chinned someone in the dressing room.
No. We seemed, I now don't know. I'm at a point now where I'm not sure which one the real Michael Voss is.
But at the start, his first game, he said that it was a good win, but there was so much to improve on.
Yeah.
And now, I am sick, like, honestly, chat, back me up here. Are you fucking sick of losing? And the chat and fucking someone from the club just saying, oh, yeah, we're trying to get better. I'm fucking sick of hearing. I'm sure you are. I'm not stupid. I'm not.
Well, you know why else? You know why else that part's frustrating? Because what do you mean you're getting to work on it? We got to work getting better in the off season, which leads me to ask, what happened in the off season? I'm not on the inside. None of us are, but there's a notion out there that round 23 really scarred them. I don't know how I feel about that, but something has happened with the connection of this group, and it keeps revealing itself every week this year. There was something off when you look back now. When we were drinking Kool-Aid in round 2, we beat Geelong. It was a good win, but it was still, I think we were under some of us, not all of us, some of us, me included, I was under the false pretense that it was just it was a scrappy win, but we bank them early because we're going to work our way into the season. And then, like, this word expectation and pressure has really started to come out to the top again. I'm almost being made to feel bad for putting expectation on them at this point.
Emotional
Like,
blackmail.
so
They're very
yeah,
good
so it's
at
like,
emotional blackmail.
yeah, so it's like, what can we expect, if anything? What is it okay? What is the acceptable level of acceptance or expectation for us supporters now? Or is it just a matter of, oh well that plan was from the people before me, so it's not my fault?
I just wish the club would come out and say, look, all we want you to do is buy your membership and just sit down and shut the fuck up. And I'd feel a little bit better. I'd feel a bit better because
Yeah.
we use buzzwords all the time. Connection,
High
rah-de,
performance. I love it. The high performance. It was the
Like-
buzzword.
Like, just give us the cold, hard facts, man. The cold, hard facts. And
Mhm.
you know what? Not everyone's children are going to be great. But if you're a parent, you better fucking expect your child to be great. Your expectations better be through the fucking roof. Why can't we as a football club? Do you know what I mean? Like, how dare we as fans think the club can win? How dare we expect we want a flag? How dare we? What horrible human beings we are. Do you know what I mean? Horrible human beings. And that's what fucks me off about this football club, man. Like, I would love to be a player in this football club. 90,000 people sign up. We beat West Coast Eagles. Everyone's up and about. The noise is ferocious. And they want us to be better. Fuck me. Tell you what, I'd die on that football field. I'd die on it. And I'd die with a smile on my face. What the fuck is going on? Like, I don't get it. I really don't get how there always is a but at Carlton Football Club.
Yeah.
It can't just be we're shit. It can't just be we lost that game. We lost that game, but we transitioned well out of D50. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, we're adults here. Just take it. You know, it's like when you hear firemen or soldiers go to war and you go, oh, I didn't like being shot at. What did you think it was? Fucking COD. These players, when you signed up for Carlton for a professional athlete, you knew it was going to be fucking tough. You knew. It's not a surprise.
No.
You know what I mean? Go on Twitter, you daft twats. Like, that's an honor, though. An honor. Why don't we see it as an honor anymore? Like, honestly, what are we doing, Terry? I'm being serious here. What are we
Yeah, I
doing?
know.
Melbourne playing at 4 out of 10 battered us.
Yeah. 2 Coleman medalists. Lewis Young, full forward. Two Coleman medalists. Lewis Young, full forward in the goal square. Yeah. But look, seriously, what the club won't tell us what the fans are supposed to do. I've been saying it for the last week. Like, what can we do other than just continue to? I mean, I don't even know if showing up is the move anymore. Like, I'm going to, but I don't begrudge anyone who doesn't. It's really tough to understand how to be a supporter now, because I want a team that's honest, at the bare minimum, honest with us, keeping it real with us at all times. I mentioned this on the Jumper Punch. So I was on the couch with them. It's going to be on tomorrow night. And I mentioned it. I was in the MCC for the game, first time. Stood out like a sore thumb, screaming out for Harry. Got looked at a few times. But you see so many different... I saw so many different variations of the Carlton supporter. And then it just... When you think about it and you zoom out again, like, the people who are in charge right now, like... then they don't relate to the common man. A lot of our Carlton supporters are the common person, the common, hardworking, blue-collar type person. But we have a lot of them who are not. And we have this real division in the type of supporter right now. So what the common or the widespread fan is reading, thinking, and absorbing is not going to be what the club is actually trying to get through to us. And I see the division more and more every single week, which in essence is probably why we do this. One of the reasons why we create content, and one of the reasons why so many of us create content.
I do it
Because-
because my wife tells me to shut the fuck up too much.
Yeah.
Mate, you see, Helena, you know what fucks me off as well? Rant time again. Club uses niche words like change the narrative. Helena, you've nailed it here because the club has said it can be a burden, right? Change the narrative. It's a fucking honour.
Mm.
Tell you what, like this football club could do a lot worse than walk down Exhibition Street about 7:30 at night and see what happens when people don't have hope and people have no one that has faith in them. Right? And you take a look in them street corners, what that does. And then you tell me, oh, is it bad that fucking people give a shit that we lose?
Yeah.
Like, fuck me. It kills me, Terry. It really kills me that we are where we are. And it breaks me, Terry. It breaks me. And you know what? You said, this one here hurts me the most. Where are you? Someone said that they weren't going to sign up next year. Someone said, right, and that hurts me because a good mate of mine, I'm going to leave his name out, right? But a very good mate of mine, he's gone through some real hard times at the moment. His pops died. God bless you, mate. I know it's tough. And he's gone through some really tough family stuff. And he said to me the other day that the one thing that turns him on in the world and he looks forward to, he's going with his dad to go and watch the football. And both him and his dad this weekend refused to go to the Melbourne game because they're having so much bad in their life. They didn't want to add to it, right? But they've gone to every game for the last 25 years. And that's one of probably about 70 messages I've heard this week. And you know what? Fuck me, Carlton Football Club. Put your ego aside. It's okay. We know you're hurting. We're not going to bite the players. We're going to fucking hug them. But give us something, man. Like, lack of intensity, lack of tackles, no tackles inside 50 after 20 minutes. Let that sink in. No
Imagine
tackles.
that.
Joy, give us something. Give us something. Like, it's all we ask.
Yeah. Well, I'm about to give us something. So, got a big ass giveaway coming up for those of you playing along at home. Well, everyone really. We are closing in on 10,000 subscribers on the channel. We have about 120 odd to go. So if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. It's free. Doesn't cost you a thing. Got about 118 subscribers to go. So we're going to do a 10K giveaway. So over the course of the last 5 years of doing this, I've collected a bunch of different items, right? And to celebrate the 10,000 subscribers, we're doing a big ass raffle giveaway. There'll be 3 variations of the prizes. So the link, I'm going to put it in here, and I'm going to show you all as well what we've got for you. All right. So a number of things here. So signed Guernseys, Corey Durdens. We've got Mark Murphy 300 shirts in their packaging. Eddie Betts, that final game, the shirt in the packaging. A Carlton Respects Guernsey. A signed Team Guernsey from the AFLW team. All these things I've got in this box, we're going to give them away. So we're going to do a little raffle. That's what it is. Eddie wants my hair. I can't raffle that out. Sorry, mate.
Surely when you shaved your head, you kept your hair. You strike me as the type of person that did. It's in there in a box somewhere.
I considered putting the $85 scarf into the raffle as well, but I didn't. Now, the link is now in the chat. You'll see it on Instagram over the course of the next few weeks. We're going to draw out the winners in a few weeks' time on the 19th of June. So firstly, thank you to everybody who is subscribed to this YouTube channel. Pommy and I celebrated 4 years the other day since we met, which was ironically the game against Essendon 2019. So hit the link. Tickets are $30. There are 3 levels of prizes. You will see it at the link there. And yeah, I'm cleaning out the box of things. The camel jacket. Oh,
that should.
Wow. Okay. I mean, if you want it, if
Signed.
you get drawn out, I'm happy to give it all away. I really am. So
That's iconic.
it is iconic. I still wear it to this day, to be honest. Happy to give away the camel jacket to anybody who wins. We're going to draw it on the show in a few weeks' time, and really, just to say thank you for everybody that's being here. It's it's a privilege to be in this situation. This all started with 9 people watching a few years ago, and then Pommy came on board, and then we kept going. And yeah, unfortunately, 5 years later, it doesn't seem to be any better. 5 years later, we score 44 points in a game. And I think that's been the biggest gut check of all of this. Again, expectation. I expected that in 5 years from when this started, that we would be a better side, and this would now start to be the documentation of the rise or the improvement, or at least the consistent finals. Unfortunately, it's not. But there's a reality, Pommy. We can sit here and say I'm done and I'm not going next week, and that's fine. But the reality is we're always going to tune in. We may not go to games. We may be done with spending our time going to games, or some of us. I know that while I'm in Melbourne, I will be going to games personally, but we'll always be tuning in. And that's something that, I think just to add on to what you've said earlier, like, it's almost like we've been taken we've been taken for granted. It feels that way. And the players will come and go. The admin will come and go, but we will all continue. We will have children. We will raise our children to be Carlton supporters. And if anything, you can talk about the past and how it's not us anymore. I think the previous generation did a pretty good job of passing down the message to us, to me, and to the ones before, after me. So where I'm at right now with everything is, no matter how anyone's feeling, my main thing at the moment is we can't turn on each other, because if we turn on each other, then this club really doesn't have anything. Right now, the fan base is the club. It's really the only thing that separates us from the rest at the moment. So anyway, that's the giveaway. Make sure you hit subscribe so we get to that 10K. And I look forward to seeing who wins. Pommy, you get an entry by default, mate.
Yeah, but I can't win, because if I win, people will be like, shenanigans.
Oh yeah, shenanigans. Fraudulent.
mate, I call for the witch hunt, so I don't want to be part of the witch hunt.
No, I'm going to bring up I'm going to bring up one of those things you find online where you enter every name and it puts you on a wheel, and live we're going to put the wheel up, and all of your names that buy a ticket will be drawn out. So just to recap, the winner will receive the signed Corey Durden Guernsey, the number 29 from his first game, and the team signed 2021 AFLW Guernsey. Second place will receive the Corey Durden number 19 Guernsey and the Carlton Respects Guernsey. Third place will receive the team signed polo from 2007 and the Eddie Betts farewell shirt. So there you go. A little something to celebrate.
I want the Mark Murphy 300 shirt.
Do you? Well, if you come first, you can pick it.
Yeah, right. That's what I want. So I want that, just so I think it'd be an honor.
Yeah. So we'll be running this. You'll see this a lot over the next few weeks. And again, thank you is everything. That's what it's all about. So that's that. Now, Pommy, the VFL had a few familiar names pop up in the VFL, a few names who we don't see often. What can you tell us about the VFL and what happened?
Well, if you want to see the full rundown, you can come and see your Uncle Pom.
Just give us the relevant ones, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But looking at the VFL, watched it at length. It was a tough fought game against, I've got to say, very weak opposition. But you know what? I don't know if my mate Gary Brown's in chat. I know you're there somewhere, Gary. I know you're lurking, but the sexiest man in football made his return. 21 touches, 7 clearances, 7 score involvements. David Cunningham, great to see him back. He Showed some signs. You could see he still wasn't 100% right.
Mm-hmm.
But, his link-up play was beautiful, and he was involved in just about everything that Carlton did well. Fogarty got us back in the game when our backs to the wall. He was one who is just as hard as a cat's head. Lockie Plowman, I can't remember the last goal Carlton kicked on the run, but to see Lockie Plowman play a give and go and boom one from 55.
Lockie Plowman, the game winner. You love it.
Mate, during when Bolton played Plowman full forward, maybe he was a fucking coaching genius. But we saved the best for last. Jackson Binns. Shit the bed. Tell you what I love about Jackson Binns is one, his improvement over the last 6 months. From when I last watched him to now. Fuck me, it's tasty. It's tasty. He's really worked hard. But I love the fact that Carlton can make this side instantly better by playing Lockie Cowan, Jackson Binns, Dow, Cunningham, because all 4 of them players don't know anything about stopping. They're all Reese. Well done. You took the words out of my mouth. Proactive footballers. They go forward and they do it. Oh, as a good point, Marchbank. Honestly, get him in the team, please. Outgov in Marchbank. Tell you what, that guy is ridiculous.
Or I have one for you. I thought about this the other night. It may be just a thought that comes and goes. Is it time to go back in time and go back where this all began? Put Marchbank in defence and put McGovern back in the forward line and just do what this team was built to do from the origins and see what Voss does. And we go back to the original plan. I did think about that the other night.
What, play Plowman full forward?
Nah, I don't know about Plowman. Maybe.
Wheater's full forward. You know what? Just joking apart, the person's name will remain nameless, but Terry's complaining about the Blue Abroad Facebook group. There was a post that I did actually delete the guy for suggesting Wheater in full forward. I couldn't do it. His exact words were, "Why don't Carlton trial Jacob Wheater in as a full forward?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can't do this. Sorry, mate."
Yeah, that'll do. Yeah. Look, we just got to find a way to stick together. I don't know what it's going to take. We just got to find a way. That doesn't mean don't hold him to account. Yeah, but at this point, what hasn't been said? The only thing missing is what hasn't been done.
It's an easy game when you win, but
Yeah.
it's like life, Terry. Do you know what I mean? When you're winning at life, nothing matters. But when times are shit, you read it. You start to feel it, don't you?
Of course. Look, the end of the year is going to be a fascinating time. Oh, Pommy, we got to go back to the draft, mate. Draft content. Come on.
I can tell you, 6 months into the year, there is not a player that is going to fix Carlton. Do you know what I mean? Just not one player, unfortunately. But no, there is some good players. We're starting to do it. We're starting to do that content. But genuinely, check the VFL out. They were against a really shit side, but they fought back hard. Second quarter was probably as good as I've seen a Carlton team fight.
Yep.
Because they were playing bad football, but they fought hard back into it. Jack Martin, Zainab, and Lana asking about him. He was okay, JM. He was okay. Weirdly, though, it's Carlton VFL specialty, playing a lot on the ball, and we know they'll never see the inside of a midfield ever. So it'd be an interesting one. But Martin, for me, I wouldn't mind bringing Cunners back in this week. I know Gary Brown's going to love me. I wouldn't mind throwing him in because he ran the game out well. Same.
Well, for me at this point, with someone like a Cunningham, he's out of contract at the end of the year. Is that right? I think so, unless there's a surprise clause in there. Mate, you've got 11 weeks to earn a contract. We said this a few weeks ago. I mean, there's a lot of them out of contract, and there's a lot of them that haven't been held to account. I'm really curious to see if this continues to slide the way it does and they hold on with Voss and they don't do what they've always done, then the players will start to feel a big change in the list, which may not be the worst thing. Send a bit of a statement through the group. But listen, that's the end of the year. Right now, it's Essendon on Sunday with a chance to do something.
We've been here, Terry. Do you remember
I
4 years
know,
ago?
man.
That was the next game.
I know. But I'm just saying, like, that's the
Can you
reality.
imagine? 4 years and we sack another coach. Bob and Terry doing coach fucking videos for the 4th time. Oh, it's funny because it's true.
Is it okay to expect us to beat Essendon this week? Is that okay? But maybe the expectations actually mean nothing. We can expect what we want. We're not guaranteed anything.
People want emotion. You should know me by now. One thing that grinds Pom's goat is getting beaten by his rivals.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and
These boys
that's
better
what it
not
is.
want to fucking dare lose to Essendon.
No. It's under no circumstance can they lose this week. Because there are, we said this about Collingwood a few weeks ago, there are just certain games where you do it for the fans. You do it for the fans every week, but there are certain games you have to do it for the fans. And I feel like this is definitely one of them. Yeah.
I'm going to be totally honest. I am 110% mentally beating the Bombers because my brain won't even allow me to have 1% of, oh shit, we might lose it.
No, me either.
So I'll snap. I'll snap if we lose this game. Like, this game is a game that, you know what, fuck your arrogance, fuck your ego, fuck your feelings. This is war.
Yes.
This is war. This is years of hatred. Like, you get up, you put your ego aside and your fucking squeaky bum time away. You go out there and you fucking inflict some pain on these fuckers.
Yep. Which
and
they
don't
did.
Come back. Don't come back into that dressing room. My message to the players, just go straight home if you lose that.
Yeah.
And watch
Don't
fan
come Monday.
cams.
You get plenty of emotion on the fan cams.
And here, evidently.
What's that?
And here, on here.
And here, of course.
You get emotion all the time.
Mate, there's always going to be emotion with us. We're Carlton supporters. We have an element of emotion. This is in our identity, no?
Well, you are all Italian, aren't you? 90% of you. And you've only got to have dinner with an Italian family to see that they get theatrical over ciabatta bread. So imagine adding sport to it.
Well, speaking of Italians, the jumper punch tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Or I'll play both of these. So first of all,
hi everyone, this is Trevor Keogh, dual premiership player with Carlton Football Club. Don't forget to watch the jumper punch every Tuesday night at 7 p.m.
Had a good time talking about Trevor Keogh with Rocco on the couch, and they made this little one as well.
Right. No, mate.
Get him in.
I'm telling you now.
Get him in.
Listen.
Get in.
Do this.
Listen.
I don't want to do it.
Sit down.
Sit
You're
down
doing
and
the
shut
show.
up.
That's it. That's it, mate. We need the president here.
All right.
El Presidente.
They don't show up, but I will.
It's been the case for 3 years.
Just pretend like you want to be here.
I want to be here.
All right, done.
I'm here.
Let's go.
Made the trek out to Reservoir where it all began, Pommy. Sat on the couch with the boys for a couple of hours. It was awesome.
It's a fucking wee bit of an hike, isn't it, Old Reservoir?
It is. Yeah, it's where it all began. I actually grew up my first 9 years on the street, a few streets parallel to where Rocco is now, which is just, fascinating. Although I have a bit of trauma going back to Reservoir, but sometimes you've got to go there to realize where you've come from. But yeah, tune in tomorrow, 7 p.m. 6 p.m. tomorrow, the team selection show on the Pommy and Oz YouTube channel, followed by the Jumper Punch here on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel. On Wednesday, the new episode of The Besties is out. Ari and Nathan will be back for the rest. Friday will be the team show because that's when the final teams are selected. So I guess no matter what happens, a meltdown is coming because we're highly strung this week. And then, mate, Sunday, long weekend, a night game on Sunday. Just curious for the 350 odd of you that are still here, who are you going on Sunday? I'm curious. What do you think the attendance will be this week, Pommy?
I don't think Carlton fans will jump off.
I think me too. But this is one of the real last chances.
And I think that's the beautiful thing about the football club that they won. And yeah. So, I mean, there has to be some expectation that they'll repay us the faith. But, I mean, I'll be doing the watch along. I'll be singing loud.
Yeah.
Essendon, genuinely, their subscriber base are the biggest tits. So, generally, they're the ones who have pot shots. Do you know what I mean?
They'll be up and about too. Their favourite. They won't be like, I don't think they'll, I mean, maybe it was just where I was sitting for the Collingwood game, but I didn't get much banter from Collingwood fans in the game. But I guess there was
Collingwood
a fight.
fans are going soft. They're starting to feel sorry for the men.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That this, especially the ones I engage with, they respect me for the man, not the football club. So they actually feel bad for me. But Essendon fans, like, honestly, do you know what I mean? They just love my misery and hurt.
Yeah. And to be fair, the club, with their content, from what I'm seeing this week, it's about the rivalry. It's about the football. It's about it all. So there's a good step. So let's just see what it manifests to be. But listen, mate, we're all hurting. We're all frustrated, and it has to turn at some point. Something has to happen, right?
Yes.
On that note, it's time to go. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for tuning in. Bring the passion, bring the noise, bring the energy. See you Sunday. Go Blues.
Go Blues.